Hello and welcome to the Learning Reading Hub. This channel is all about resources and information about learning to read. So if you're interested in this topic, consider subscribing. We create weekly content full of value for you. Today we're going to be talking about a sensitive topic, and that is how to help struggling readers. I am actually going to ask you to reflect on a few questions, 12 questions in total, that you should ask yourself before putting a label to a child. Because in the answers to these questions, you may find very important information about what you need to do with your child to facilitate her or his reading. Before I start, I just wanted to give you a little bit of context, tell you about me and my story. I am a mom to two lovely daughters. My younger one is still a toddler, and my older daughter is 6 years old at the moment. In normal circumstances, she actually goes to school, but I have been homeschooling her for a good while now because of the current global situation that we're living. Also, even before homeschooling her, I decided to take a more proactive role in her reading instruction. That is because I was not happy, I was not impressed with the system and the methodology used at her school. In case you're wondering, the system they were using at her school is just the standard, the common approach, so I can't really blame the school. It is just the way it is. I noticed an incredible difference in her learning curve, in my daughter's learning curve, and her understanding of how language works when I actually took a more proactive approach, a more proactive role myself, researched about the topic and started to apply phonemic awareness and explicit synthetic phonics principles in her reading instruction. Of course, if you suspect that you may be dealing with a processing disorder, you should definitely get that checked. And now, without further ado, let's go through the checklist. Question number 1. Is your child being taught to read using the whole word or whole language approach? If you're unsure about what this is, please check the video above. I will also leave a link on the video description where we explain in detail what are the differences between the whole word approach and the phonics approach. The whole word approach is still a very popular teaching method, but unfortunately it is not the best one for English. It basically consists on memorizing lists and lists of words, relying on tips and tricks to memorize these words, such as word shapes. This is a very inefficient way of learning to read. I could go on and on about this topic, but I created other videos on the channel about why the whole word approach is so problematic. So again, I will leave links on the video description. Question number 2. Is your child encouraged to guess and predict what words could be when he or she is reading? The guesswork that he or she is instructed to do could be based on the first letter sound on a word, the pictures, predict sentences on very predictable books like the ones used on whole word programs, predict what the word could be based on the context. Asking children to read words based on these types of clues is one of the worst habits you can get your child into. Say he or she is successful a number of times with this strategy of guessing by looking at the picture. The child can't read the word dog. He or she sees the picture of a dog and says dog, and you said great, good work. Then the same with the word cat, and the child sees the picture of a cat and says cat, and you go great, fantastic, well done. What do you think that the child has learned? That guessing, looking at pictures, is actually reading. This guessing encouragement is extremely widespread, but it is also incredibly dangerous. In my opinion, it is okay to guess the meaning of words when you encounter advanced words that you probably don't use on your day-to-day. You can guess based on the context. But that is a completely different story to guessing words because you don't know how to read them, how to pronounce them. Question number 3. What is the actual decoding system that your child is being offered, if any? Is it simply based on memory and repetition? This next question goes very much hand in hand with the 2 previous ones, actually. We must not forget that when we're learning to read, we're learning to decode, to crack the code of the English language. It is not normal to think that we can just memorize every single word. Are we really going to memorize all the words in the English language? Do we even have the capacity? Well, scientists in the visual memory area, not related to reading research and therefore not biased, have indicated that we don't have the cognitive capacity to remember 30 to 90,000 words for automatic retrieval. This is the average number of words that adults use, by the way. So, learning how the relationships between letters and sounds work is a much better way of learning to read, because this is actually a proper decoding system. Question number 4. Is he or she offered enough phonics instruction in an organized and systematic manner, or just random phonics instruction here and there? For phonics instruction to work, it needs to be very strategic and introduced in a way that the knowledge builds upon what you already know. This is especially relevant with English, where we have so many regularities and the spelling can be tricky. Having said that, there are rules, patterns, tips and tricks to get around these irregularities, but we need to follow a system. If we introduce phonics without a system, phonics can also be unsuccessful. Explicit phonics, that is another name for systematic synthetic phonics, is helpful in general for all students, but particularly for students at risk of reading difficulty. Question number 5. What is your child's level of phonemic awareness? Phonemic awareness is the number 1 predictor of how well children will do at reading instruction. However, it is overlooked in so many instances. In short, phonemic awareness is the ability to hear, identify, and manipulate the individual sounds that form words. Don't confuse phonemic awareness with phonological awareness. If you want to know more about why differentiating these 2 concepts is so important, we actually created a whole video about that, so I will leave again links on the video description and above. Question number 6. How is your child being taught to sound out words? Are his or her teachers sounding out words correctly? If you want to find out more about this topic, again, we have a whole video about this on the channel. So I will leave links, as I said, on the video description and above. Question number 7. Does your child understand the sound-letter correspondence but maybe has problems with blending? It takes a lot of practice to actually master blending. And some children just need more practice than others. The child and, of course, the adult giving the instruction as well need to understand the principles of blending, the types of blending there are, practice, practice, and practice. If you want to know more about this, again, there are videos on the channel. Check the video description. Question number 8. Can your child hear properly? As you may have noticed, hearing sounds is a key piece for learning to read. So if you suspect that your child may have hearing problems, get him or get her tested, because that could actually be impacting her reading abilities. In the same way, some children have reading difficulties because they have undiscovered visual problems. Question number 9. Has your child developed anxiety around reading books? If he or she has had negative experiences around reading, it can be the case that he or she is too anxious to think properly. Negative experiences can be subtle, like an internal frustration because he or she feels really bad about not being able to figure things out. So watch out for this, and if you see signs of anxiety, try to calm her or him down and really focus on making reading a positive experience for your child. Question number 10. Are you getting involved and supporting your child? Are you reading with him or her every day? Letting him or her have a go and then correcting him or her if necessary. One important point here: offer your child explanations about his or her mistakes. If we are not given proper explanations about our mistakes, we simply won't learn from them. We will just feel bad about them. While it is true that sight words can be explained phonetically, or at least not the whole word can be explained phonetically, but apart from sight words, in general, words follow rules and patterns that can be explained to your child. If you find that you cannot offer explanations as to why we read words in the way we read words, you just know how to read them but not the rules, then I would encourage you to look for answers, to research about the topic, because this can be truly helpful for your child. And also, it is important that you select books that are appropriate for his or her level, so he or she can learn from his mistakes or her mistakes. This plays a huge part. We learn from practice and from our mistakes, but only if we are given proper explanations to our mistakes and if we understand those explanations. Question number 11. Have you been making sure that the books he or she is reading are appropriate for his or her level? I already explained that before, but I just wanted to stress it out again because it is so important. If you consider that the book is too advanced for your child, but for whatever reason you think that your child is truly gonna enjoy it, you really want your child to enjoy that story, then what I would do is read it to the child myself and maybe just pick a few words here and there and ask her to read those words. Question number 12. Who are you comparing your child against? I know this is inevitable, we all do it, but it is a very bad habit. Some children just need more practice than others, and that's all right. That doesn't mean anything. Only it might just be that your child is lacking one of the core skills necessary for reading, and once you identify it, you sort that out, that's it. For instance, your child could be lacking phonemic awareness, and once you sort that out, your child's reading ability just explodes. Thanks for watching. I hope you found value on this video. If that is the case, I would really appreciate if you could hit the like button. It really helps the channel. And remember to subscribe if you enjoy this type of information. Bye and see you on the next video.